Hey everyone, this is a little video to explain how you can set up the URL API. It's pretty similar to the other one. It's actually a lot more simpler. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to our repository and you're going to go to the pull request section of our repository and you're going to see this create URL API. You're going to open that up, and what you're going to do when you see that is you're going to see this pop up, and you're going to see it has no conflicts in the base branch, but we're not worried about that for now. We're going to click that link and it's going to open up this code. And then when you get here, you're going to say open a desktop, and then you'll see this pop up and you'll see that. So that's a good sign. So what you can do, if you want, you can click it, or you can not, because that seems like it was a bad idea. And we're going to click open in Visual Studio Code. We're going to look mildly concerned, and then we're going to click this. We're going to notice that's not an app.js. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull a cheap trick, and we're going to name it .js. And luckily the editor's kind of smart, and it realized that, oh, this is the JS file. So that was handy. And it'll pull up like this. Next thing you need to do is you're going to make a new directory. So you're going to do mkdir, and let's just call this program 23. Stupid virus stuff I have on my PC. Probably from downloading Sims free content. Anyway, so you're going to make this directory, and I called it program 23. And that's going to create a new directory, and you'll see it pop up over here. It has nothing in it currently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move there. Oh, sorry, cd program 23. cd just means change directory, and now you can see I'm there. Now I'm going to do next, I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to simply move it over there. And it's going to ask if I want to move it. Yes, I do. And that means I have its own little subset, so it won't interfere with this app.js that we made before. So now I'm here, I'm going to do npm init. Now I'm inside this directory, so pay attention to that. You're going to see a JSON file pop up. And it's going to ask you to name the package. I'm just going to call it the URL package. And we're going to click that. We're going to click through the versions, the entry point. Let's call this URL app. Test command, I'm not going to get one. Get repository, not going to worry about it. And you're just going to say Y for yes. And if all goes well, we're going to then check if everything worked. So we're going to do node URL API. Is that what I named it? I named it URL app, so let's hope that works. URL app. And I got a module not found. So what we're going to do is I notice the name of the actual file itself is URL API, so I'm going to give that a shot. Oh, make sure you put node in front of that. Pro tip. URL API. That's the same name as our file. And it says it cannot find Axios, so that's good. It didn't say it couldn't find the URL API, it said it couldn't find Axios, which makes sense because we haven't installed it yet. So that means the next step, you could probably guess, is that we're going to install Axios. Make sure you spell it right. And remember, I is short for install. You're going to see this pop up, and that's going to be done. And under program 23, you're going to see a couple packages, and including our URL API and our package we made, which just has basic dependencies. And this also has, more dependencies, and we got a couple more from Axios' own dependencies, but we're not too worried about that. So let's go back here. And what we're going to do is we're going to do node, and then because the name of the app's name is URL API, we're going to run that piece of code. And then you're going to get this JSON response. So the reason why, actually, I don't think I can explain to you this video the reason why you're getting it. I have time. Okay, so we're also going to make this the setup and the explanation video. So this Axios is basically used to make calls to a URL. So I'm calling the OMDB API, which basically is a free open source database / API full of all the movies and stuff. And it contains a bunch of information about them. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically building a URL. So when we finally build our button, we can change the name of this title or the category, the ID we're searching by, and we'll change this parameter to match. And basically you can search it according to anything you want. This API key was given to me through the website. Everyone has to use it. If you don't append this is the end of your URL, it basically fails. So it's absolutely necessary that you do have that API key. I'm sorry if the audio keeps on shifting. I keep on moving my mic and forgetting about it. Okay, hopefully this is okay. I can't hear, so best of luck to y'all. Anyway, the point is, you have this thing will probably never change. It's the start of your URL. This specifies we're searching by title, and this title gives us the title we're searching by, and this is the API key. So these two will always be the same, but these two may differ. So we'll change that as we go along. So what this does, this is a GET request, and it's an asynchronous function because basically we're going to be waiting for this thing to finish while we're doing other things in the code. But we're not really doing anything, so just know that asynchronous function works best for retrieving stuff from the web. Alright, so what I'm doing here is I have these little variables you remember from last time, and I'm setting them equal to this Axios GET request. So I'm saying is I want you to go to this URL, I want you to get the information specified, and then once you have the information, I want you to take that response you got from them, I want you to go inside the response, go to the data portion of it, and I want you to grab the year from it. And then I want you to return that, and while you're at it, if you can find an error, log the error down. And I literally do the same thing, both title, awards, and all that. And then this is still within the GET request function. I turn each of those, I make a JSON object, which you can tell because I have these brackets. And I'm saying set the year attribute equal to the date info I made, and I put a comma, I say entity, set that equal to entity info, and awards info equal to, awards equal to awards info. And then I return that JSON object, which means that function GET request returns a JSON object. Alright, so once I've done that, I can then, after this, call the GET request function and say then, which means on completion of GET request, I want you to then take this result that you generate, and I want you to print it to the terminal, which is what it did right here. Now let's just say you want to see all of the stuff that this thing could print. Like you don't want just the year, the title, the words, you want the whole entire request. What you can do is you can uncomment this line of code, and this will grab everything. So let me show you what that looks like. So node, oops, don't all caps. Let's say that works, why not? URL API, is it case sensitive? Forgot to save it. My bad, my dudes. Let's try it one more time. Node URL API. There it is. Okay. So, there it is. So, you'll see that when we call it the second time, I uncomment that second function. This thing doesn't have any type of filtering. It just gets the entire response from the website and logs it inside our terminal. And what that ends up looking like, let's check my time. I got 2 minutes. Okay. So this is everything that's returned from that call. So I have the status, I have all this headers information, some configuration stuff, request. I don't really need most of this, but if you scroll down and you'll see this little section called data. You might accidentally say pass it. There we go. And I basically, when you see me going here, I say response. This is my entire response, right? All this data, and I'm going to a data section, and I'm saying, hey, I want to get the title. I'm saying, response, data, title, and I'm grabbing stuff. But if you want to grab more here, you could totally grab more, and you just would add it to your JSON response. So, yeah. But the reason why that's commented out is because we don't need all that data. But if you want to get something more, you want to see what the format looks like, you can obviously add more. And, yeah. So that's the basic explanation of what URL API does. I hope that helps you, and I'll see you guys later.